Hi friends, a very warm welcome back to our channel. I'm Chandamama. This is your Chandamama bringing you a new story today published from the Chandamama magazine. The story's title is A Strange City. So let's move towards the story. In Mithila, there was once a Kshatriya youth called Yashvardhan. He was very brave and daring. He was also quick-tempered. Being afraid of none, he led a reckless and adventurous life and committed many atrocities. If anyone dared to question him, he killed him without the least hesitation. After a time, his sinful career came to an abrupt end. He had the misfortune to fall foul of the king's brother-in-law. Both of them drew swords, but before the other could lift his sword, Yashvardhan pierced him through the heart and killed him. The news reached the king's ears, and an order was issued that Yashvardhan should be killed at sight. Yashovardhan had to flee from the country if he wanted to avoid death. So he got upon his horse and rode away. He raced his horse so fast that after some hours it fell down dead. By then Yashovardhan had come a long way, but he did not know whether he was out of the kingdom or not. He was afraid that the king's men might follow him and overtake him. So he ran in the dark across the mountain paths and forests, till by dawn he came onto a mountain peak. Here he rested a while and looked back. Nobody appeared to be following him. Then he looked into the valley on the other side of the hill. He saw an unusually nice city. The sight of the city put new life into Yashvardhan, for there was no such city in the kingdom from which he was fleeing, so far as his knowledge went. This must belong to another kingdom, and he would live here safe and happy. Having made this decision, Yashvardhan descended into the valley. On the way, he met a shepherd and asked him, "What is the name of the town below?" "Dharmanagar," the shepherd replied. Yashvardhan had never heard of it. Yashvardhan found something strange and unusual about this city. He began to walk along the broad streets between the tall buildings. He saw a lot of men and women going about and others standing in small groups and talking. This must be a place devoid of sin, Yashvardhan told himself. Nobody seems to be unhappy. At that very moment, he saw something which took his breath away. He had come near to a shop. He saw the shopkeeper in conversation with a customer. A young man who had observed that the shopkeeper was preoccupied snatched something out of the shop, looked around to see that he was not observed, and began to walk away calmly. But he had taken hardly 4 paces along the road when there was a terrible sound. The ground opened under the young man's feet and the young man went down. Then the ground closed again, leaving no indication of the mishap. Yashvardhan, who saw all this, stood petrified. He observed that the others too had seen this happening, but they did not appear to be surprised at all. Evidently, this was a common thing for them. They stood for a moment and then passed on. Soon, Yashvardhan learned that the citizens of this place met their end only in this fashion. He saw the ground open up in many parts of the city and swallow many more persons. But nowhere did he see a man or a woman die accidentally. Only such people as did acts of crime against other human beings were swallowed by the earth in this manner. For instance, in a certain place, he saw one man try to stab another man in the back, and before he could accomplish his crime, the ground opened under him and he was swallowed up. In another place, 4 men were running after a woman, intending to catch her by force, when they were all swallowed up and the ground closed over them again. Yashvardhan tried to understand these strange and sudden deaths. Why do these people commit crimes knowing full well that Mother Earth will not spare them? He said to himself. "Where do you come from, son?" Yashvardhan was startled by the question. He saw a sage standing near him. "I come from Mithila, father," he replied. "Do men die with foreknowledge of death in your Mithila?" the sage asked Yashvardhan. "Are they repenting and stopping from acts of sin for that reason?" Yashvardhan suddenly seemed to see light. He began to recollect all his sinful deeds. "Father, I too was a sinner," he said to the sage. "As a matter of fact, I came to this city in order to escape death. Now, I have realized that what I should escape was not death, but sin. Kindly teach me how to lead a victorious life." The sage took Yashvardhan with him and taught him with the path of virtue and righteousness. So, this was the story of Strange City published in the Chandamama magazine. So, till I come back with a new episode and a new video and a new story, till then, stay safe and take care. Bye bye. Have a nice day.